You know how much I love that Nintendo Switch! What's going on, YouTube? It is your boy QKG, and today we're getting down with a game. Your boy has been putting this review off for so long because he's just been enjoying it too much, which of course is that Monster Hunter Rise that came out on exclusively on that Nintendo Switch. So literally, this game was an exclusive that dropped on Switch, and we only had one Monster Hunter game, which was Monster Hunter Generations on Switch, and I did enjoy that title. However, it was like super clunky for me, so there was a lot of things that I did enjoy about that game, and then there was just some I just didn't enjoy. So with Monster Hunter Rise kind of blending the Monster Hunter world and Generations kind of formula together, and then giving us the wire bug, which is one of their new movement mechanics that they have that adds to a whole different level of the fight. Alongside gameplay and movement alone, it just enhances the overall combat of the game. And we're just going to go ahead and kind of talk about this game in depth. No script, I'm just giving you flat experience, honesty. There was no hype built on this game at all. I mean, I was literally a Monster Hunter kind of semi-fan. I wouldn't even consider myself a fan, man. I've literally only played some on the PSP. And then I played literally Generations, and that's it. So I like the series kind of, but then this game kind of really got me into it. So let's just go ahead and get started, man. So let's just go ahead and get started right off the bat. If you are new to the Monster Hunter formula, it's not really any different if you played Dauntless, if you played Freedom Wars on the PS Vita, if you've played God Eater. Certain games where you're just all 4 different players, sometimes 2 to 4, and you're fighting one big ass monster. So that's the entire premise of the game, but there's something about Monster Hunter, and mainly this game, that really sets itself aside from all the others. The more you play this game, the better the experience gets, and I know that you can say that about a lot of games. This game in particular, since it is an RPG, is it super story driven like Uncharted, a Tomb Raider? Like, is it really super story driven like that? Not really. It does have a story, but as far as being super story driven, it really isn't. More of the gameplay kind of speaks for itself. Oh, wait, you said, oh, you're talking about that new Mulan movie. Yeah, man, I like stopped in at Target and saw that bitch on the shelf, and it was like, oh my god, I cut something off on you. Oh, you didn't like that, did you? Oh, oh, wait, he mad. Okay, he mad. This good, lush environment with a plethora of great characters that are in your village, and the overall environment, how the weapons look, how the monsters look, how the gameplay feels, what happens in those fights. These monsters do all kind of random things. So you have to memorize certain fight patterns, like, okay, when this monster screams or he hops up a little bit, it's going to roll over, or it's going to jump down and swoop down and try to slam the ground. So you have to pay attention to the ways the monsters fight, because they don't necessarily fight exactly the same every single time. So every fight is going to be different, and also along the lines of, if you want that cool weapon, if you want that cool armor set, whatever it is you're looking at that requires these monsters' materials, sometimes you might not get everything on the first go. You might have to fight that thing, you know, a couple more times to get what you need. It's never really taken me more than like 2 to 3 times to like fighting the same thing in order for me to either craft 1 to 2 different weapons in that monster style. The game does a really good job of keeping you hooked into its universe, does a really good job of keeping you busy. Does a good job of giving you constant things to do, and then your rewards look good, man. Like, looking at these weapons, like, you gotta be shitting me if some of these just, like, one of them doesn't pique your interest. So when you see one weapon, and then also in the beginning of the game, you don't really get to see all the weapons either. You just get to see a small portion of that unlock tree, and as you keep buying weapons and fighting different kind of monsters, you unlock more possibilities. So literally, the more you play this game, the more it's constantly rewarding you. So if you are looking for an RPG, something to sink some time into and get rewarded, Monster Hunter usually has all of that covered for you. This is the part of the review where I really say this game is not for everybody. If somebody's looking for a super casual experience, this just ain't it. Only because this game, you gotta put the work in it. You have to put the work in. Otherwise, you're not going to really progress in the game. And then you're going to hit a hump, or you're going to be like, damn, this is too hard, or this is difficult. The first monster I fought, the first day I got this game, I couldn't beat it. And then the more and more I played, the more I paid attention, because And that's another thing. The game can be a slow burner. It's going to take a good, like, I would say 1 to damn near almost 10-ish 15 hours just for you to get through some of that tutorial stuff. It might even be a little bit longer than that. It's around 20 hours because there's so much to unravel in this game. It's gonna turn you off kind of early. I'm like, damn it, like, what's this? I just did this, I just did that. So it may throw, like, the game kind of eases you into it. Like, okay, we'll just throw you into an environment, you can kind of play around a little bit. Then we're gonna make you slay some small monsters. Then you're gonna hunt this big monster. Then you're gonna hunt a big monster surrounded by 2 other monsters that may come in and fight you. Then you have to, like, it literally keeps piling on and on. So the game has a lot to unravel. So for some of those players who are just like, damn, man, I'm not trying to get into all this. If you feel like them streets is a little too deep for you, this ain't where you want to go, man. This is not. At one point in the game, they changed the formula completely. It goes from, we're going to have you just doing all these hunts, and then it introduces a new good game mode. Kind of like a tower defense mode where you're going to be set in this area. There's multiple different gates, and then all throughout the area, you have to place down turrets, you have to place auto turrets, certain traps down, and then it's all just defending that base so the monsters don't get in and pretty much kill everybody in the entire village. That type of game mode, I didn't think I would enjoy that much. I see the possibilities that can have. Imagine having like a team with that, like 4 different players. You're all like, you have 2 on turrets, you have 1 guy that just wants to jump down and just fight the monsters on their own. Like, there's so many different ways you can have fun with the game modes and really enjoy the game. So that's why I say, like, the first like almost like 0 to 20 hours is literally just you doing tutorial level stuff. And then you just really getting introduced into the game, because the weapons that they give you in the beginning, like, I was doing like 4 damage, like 7 damage. I was like, damn, this thing is weak. And then, like, I see what I'm doing now. I'm doing some 20s, I'm doing sometimes 30s, 40s, like whatever it is. I'm noticing the difference in the increase in power, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see where, you know, I'm doing, you know, where I'm improving in. And then also, like, just the wide range of not only just base, you know, like just weapons you can get, but then the weapons you can craft. Like, you have everything from great swords, long swords, machine guns, bows, like switch axes, charge blades. There's so many different weapons. The switch axe has to be one of my favorites, because if you love just having a huge axe that's already devastating, and then you can like morph that boy into like a quicker version of a great sword. Literally, dude, like, that is so freaking cool. You've never gotten into the Monster Hunter series, which it took me a very long time to get into it. This has to be the perfect game for you to get into. Just because literally the presentation of the game is so great. You get opened up with some beautiful singing in the, literally just in the menus alone. And you just hear that background music kick in, and it is so soothing, my guy. It is so soothing. And also just like the village alone, like I said, man, the world it sucks you in. The girl making the dongos, that's my hobby. Every time I see her, she happy, hook the dongos up perfect. We enjoy them. So literally the game is just fun, man. It's just such a fun experience. And far aside from just the pacing of the game, I thought was, you know, like I said, that might be a little bit long. That's why it will kind of turn off some casual players. But then when you see how much there is in the game, I'm like, yeah, they got to unravel all that. So I really didn't find a lot of stuff I didn't like. The only thing I wish was that we could get like a customized bar to see how many wire bugs we can get. Because pretty much right now, I think the max you can get is 4, or not 4, 3 when you actually go and find one on the map. But you have like just a base 2. So I was thinking like maybe that might be a little bit OP, because once you get smacked, you're just going to be zigzagging all over the place, like beating the monster's ass. So, oh man. So like, yeah, like, I just wish maybe you would have had like maybe like 4 to 5 wire bugs, because, but then again, I thought maybe that might be a little bit too much, because, like, you know, each time you're getting hit, you're just ping-ponging all over the place, zigzagging all over. So I didn't know, but having 2, at first I was like, man, that's not enough. I wish you had more. But then having 3, when you learn how to use the mechanic well, and especially when you're high up and you're learning like, you know, like the cooldown methods, you can actually pretty much keep getting those bitches refilled each time you're jumping around, zigzagging and hanging all over places. So I don't know, man, like, it's just the game in general is fun. I really can't find much I did not like about this game. Sometimes I find them right away. Sometimes it takes a minute and I gotta really dig to see what I don't like. But when a game is this good, and it's literally, I've almost had this game for a month, dude, and I still can't find nothing I don't like, that's pretty much telling me this game is absolute fire. So to end this review off, and just to be as blunt as possible, Monster Hunter, I mean, I don't really need to go too deep into the story, but where this game really shines is its gameplay, its replayability, and just the overall environment and the RPG aspects. So if this game was had all of that, and you know, a big thing I would have said was, okay, the game is repetitive. That I thought was going to be my biggest issue. But when the monsters do fight different, they behave different, they might run away more, they might just, you know, try to fight you a little bit more, or, you know, do some different shit. But overall, I thought that would be my biggest issue, is that, oh, I might just get bored after a while. No, there's been monsters I've fought, and like I said, when you have certain materials, you may not get them all the first time. So you have to fight it again at some point if you want that stuff. And then sometimes you're just going to run into them eventually anyway. So I thought that would be my biggest issue, but the fact that they fight differently, they can be in different areas, they could, you know, be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more docile, a little bit more cowardly, whatever it is, it's different. So it gets refreshing each time you go out, because you have 3 monsters on the map. That's 3 different ways they're going to behave differently. And if you really want to get fancy with the spices, kill all 3 of them if you want. So I can't find anything I dislike about this game. It is just flat out that simple. I would have to give Monster Hunter Rise solid. I don't use numbers, I use phrases, but you can incorporate this to 5 out of 5. It is absolute fire. Absolute fire. Cannot find anything I don't like about this game. Every time I play it, I have a good time. I don't get bored of the game quick, and it's something that's still been keeping me busy for quite some time. So I have literally been enjoying this game every step of the way. Love the combat, love the weapons, love just the lore, everything about this game. It is so much fun. So if you guys have not played this on Switch, try the demo out. Get fancy with them spices. I know it might be confusing. That's how I felt when I first played the demo. Hence why now when I'm actually into the game and I've learned more, I enjoy it a lot more. Because when I first got the demo, I was just like, yeah, I'll try it out for a little bit, see the visuals. And this game's graphics are stunning. One of the best looking Switch games out there. And yeah, I was going to say, it's an exclusive. It's an exclusive at the moment. This game's probably timed exclusive. You're probably going to see it on PC, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox One Series X at some point. But overall, like on Switch, on that RE engine, the game is beautiful. And it runs great. Like, dude, it's literally built from the ground up on Switch. And then they're going to enhance this boy when they dump it out on everything else. The game is beautiful. Love it. So, literally, that's going to end on this review. Game's a solid 5 out of 5. It's absolute fire. If you don't want to use numbers, the game is absolute fire. It is a must-have on Switch. I'm sorry. If you love hack and slash games, this is for you. If you are more on the casual end, you don't like to be challenged as much in your games, you might not want to go with this, because you're going to be overwhelmed with how much stuff you have to do in the game. So if you want something a little bit slower pace, you know, you don't have to get as deep, you might not want this game. But if you want all that smoke, get this game. I would love to thank you guys for tuning into this review. And as always, make sure you leave your comments down below on any games you want me to review next. And as also, slide over to my Discord server. All we do is literally post links, talk games, chop it up like homies, and there's going to be a lot of changes coming over there, so you might want to get in there soon, because the people who have been in there from the beginning and that constantly put in that work, they're going to get rewarded. So if you want to get rewarded, you better get over there before I start changing shit. So I'd love to thank you guys for tuning in. This is your boy QKG, and peace out.